The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. My God, how long have you been there? I've been waiting for you. I've been here since last week, just wondering if someone was going to tune in, and now here you are. Thanks for coming. This is indeed the Ron Van Dam Show. I'm one of the people whom they mention in the title. Thanks for coming here. Just as a matter of introduction, hello. Also, I've been doing radio for 30 years on broadcast radio, 3-hour morning show on a couple of different stations in the Boston area, and now that's transformed into podcasting and some syndicated radio stations, but mostly the podcasting part, and we're on all the platforms and featured on all the platforms, the Pandora, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google something, Stitcher, SoundCloud, any iTunes, TuneNet, don't TuneNet, and we're on all those platforms. Basically, if there's an audio platform, we're there. And thank you so much for that. Alexa also plays us. I don't know why she would do something like that, but that's an AI mistake, apparently. So we're everywhere. And also here, once a week, I do what I do audibly into a visual media. Notice how it makes no difference whatsoever. My facial expressions rarely change, and I don't move my hands all that much, and they're out of the shot anyway. But enjoy the background and me sitting here moving my mouth now and then when it's not being obstructed by the microphone. There's your rundown. Well, it's a pleasure to be in the lovely town of Raynham. What? Easton, I mean. Thank you very much. Lovely town. Lovely people, lovely place. Is this the city of trees? Did I read that somewhere once? Probably not. Although I love trees. I will hug a tree. I will sit in a chair and stare at a tree for hours. There are some very interesting trees in this particular town. They have that thing across the street from this cable station here that Governor Ames, they took his house down recently. Used to be a little mansion. I always wondered if that was a mansion or just a large house. But anyway, they tore that down, and now there's pretty much nothing there but a tent. But that's his property, or it was. Now it's not. It belongs to somebody else, not you. But the trees on that property are fascinating. If you've never really opened your eyes to anything, and many of you have not, open your eyes and look at the trees on that property. They're amazing. They're fantastic. They must have been imported in from places, which I guess what Governor Ames did. I think he had a lot of money, or he planted trees himself because he was involved with shovels. They call Easton Shovel Town, and, if you're derogatory about it, you can see what he was shoveling. If you love it, then it was quite an invention and usage to build up this area to the point that it became a place on the map of great historic importance. Thank you so much for your time. Vote often. Okay, let's get started. I did last week I talked about Trump's perfume and cologne. He's the only president or past president, hopefully it stays that way, but he's been the only president that peddles merchandise with his name on it because he was a president or is extremely rich. It's just it's just an odd approach to life, is all I'm saying. Anyway, he has the golden sneakers, like he exercises. Come on. But this perfume and cologne he's got, and I forget the name of it. I don't really care. But I was thinking, like, instead of perfume, maybe he should do an eau de toilette. Now, for those that are not familiar, I never understood this. It's toilet water. And there was a time in our history where people used to put toilet water on their skin, behind their ears or on their necks or something, and it had the perfume in it. And I think it's perfume or some type of weaker form of perfume, but they called it eau de toilette, which is toilet water. And I find that humorous. I just find it humorous. How can it not be? Any product that's connected to the toilet has got to be funny. Toilet water. Oh, you smell good. What is that? Toilet water. The toothbrush splashed into the toilet and it splashed up on my body. Didn't have time to shower. It's toilet water. There's a difference between eau de toilette and toilet water. All right. I don't know if there's another show that talks about this stuff, but I find it refreshing in a way. In another way, not so much. I was watching last week or a couple of weeks ago, depending on when you're watching this, or 3 years ago, I don't know, the Daytona 500. In auto racing, the first race is the Super Bowl race, and everything after that is whatever. So they came up with championship races at the end, but it's all counterproductive. Their first race is the big race, oddly enough. So they did the Daytona. They did the Daytona 500, and I was reading an article, and one of the people on this blog, whatever that means, said, "What are the? They're in that car for like up to like 4 or 5 hours." And what do they do when they have to go to the bathroom, when they have to pee? I mean, like, they can't get out of the car and say, hold it, everybody, I got to go to the bathroom. It doesn't happen in an auto race. And auto races last like 3-4 hours. So what do? It's a conundrum because race car drivers are supposed to stay hydrated. If they get too dry and they have no liquid in them, they can get really sick and pass out. Passing out at 200 miles an hour, not a good idea. So they have to stay hydrated. But if you drink water, then you have to pee. Especially if you're a race car driver and you're over 40 years old. God forbid you're over 50. You're going to be peeing every 10 minutes. So let's face it, this is a prostate world for men. So, like, what do? And what they do is, although some of them admit it and some of them don't, but this is indeed what they do, if they have to go to the bathroom in the race car, they do. They wear these suits, these racing suits, and they have air conditioning in them and all kinds of stuff. But it's also padded in the rear end area for the possibility that a race car driver may actually pee himself. It's something, because these are macho guys for the most part, They're risking their lives. It's difficult to say, I don't fear anything. I don't fear death. I could die at any moment in a horrific crash, and some do. I fear nothing. But when I have to pee, I don't know what to do. So they pee in their pants. And I find that to be tremendously ironic. There's no other way to do it. But that's what they do. And then it has to be cleaned out when the race is over. And somebody has to do that. It ain't the race car driver. Somebody has to go, oh, Bob, he did it. Find that fascinating. Nobody talks. There's some things people don't talk about. That's one of them. That has always been a curiosity of mine. Where do you pee if you're stuck in a car? I mean, I've been in that circumstance because I live in the Boston area. Hello. And sometimes I have to travel into Boston, and I'm stuck in traffic for over an hour, and I have to go because I'm a little bit over 40. How much? None of your business. But sometimes all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I can't, and I don't, but I have to. It's a conundrum. I guess that's where the toilet water comes in. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I really don't. Before I get to the main subject of today's show, there's one more topic that astounds me. And again, people don't talk about this, but it's astounding. It's one of the most astounding, amazing things that I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you, as far as the human condition is concerned. But yeah, people don't talk about this. I'm from New York, and as a lot of people from New York are, I'm cultured. I used to go to the Broadway theater a lot. I used to go to concerts, museums, and I carried that over when I came here. There are some great venues here in this wonderful Boston area, and some amazing cultural locations and museums, etc. So I frequent them. And I'm a member of a couple of theater organizations, one of them being the Huntington, the other the Lyric Stage, both in Boston. You should try it. Some of their shows are incredible. Some of them suck like you wouldn't believe. But that's theater, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but in every case, whether the play is wonderful or it's horrible, it has nothing to do with this amazing talent that I see. First of all, the performers are usually top-notch. They're doing lousy, horrible plays sometimes, but that has nothing to do with them. It's a gig, and they perform really well. But what amazes me is how they remember all of their lines. Now, this is very different in television and movies. And in television and in movies, you don't have to memorize more than maybe 5, 6, maybe 10 lines at a time. Because there's cue cards, and you can stop and correct it. Most of these things are taped. They're rarely live. Movies, certainly not. TV, hardly at all, if at all, these days. So you can stop, you can make a mistake, and they're called bloopers, and they do all the time. And then they get refreshed on their lines, and you can do a scene like 5 times before you remember all the lines and you don't flub them. But on the stage, on the theatrical stage, you can't do that. That's as live gets. And if you make a mistake, everybody has to cover for you somehow until you get back on track. And it is not discernible. They hide it really well if that's the case. But for the most part, they remember their lines. Hundreds of lines. Perfectly. Every single performance. How does anybody have a memory like this? Now, I don't doubt that you're probably saying, Ron, you're right. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. If you were shown a book, here's a book. Memorize the first 10 pages. Okay, I'll try. And then you get up on stage and you do it a lot. You rehearse a lot. But now you can remember everything in those in those first 10 pages, every single word. No, I can't. I can't remember anything. I spend most of my time. Yeah, did you see that actress last night? What's her name? Oh, it begins with a P. No, maybe it's a W. Oh, what the hell is her name? She was in the thing, and oh my God. I can't. Well, she was in the thing. We all do that. We can't remember anything. When I was younger, like in my 20s, I remembered everything till I started smoking pot. But before that, I remembered everything. Which I don't do, by the way. I didn't smoke pot. I don't do that anymore. But I did. But before that, I could remember everything. Now, no. I don't know. I don't know how the brain cell thing works because I'm not a physician or a specialist in the brain area. But I can't. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you walk in a room and you say, oh, why did I come in here? That's not losing your memory. That's just normal. Because human beings we just exist by walking into the wall. I've just walked into the wall. I guess that's as far as I can go in this room. That fascinates me. How actors, and I include both sexes and all the other sexes that they have come up with recently, I'm amazed at that. That's the talent. The talent is acting to some extent, sure. But the real talent to me is memorization, that these people can memorize and put on a performance between them. Not only do I have to remember all of my lines, but so does he or she. It's all got to click. And that's the fascinating part of stage acting. How do you remember those lines? I could sit there for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and try to memorize 20 pages of dialogue, 50 pages of dialogue. Some of these things are like 2-actor plays. There's just 2 characters in the play, usually incredibly boring to watch, but nonetheless, they have more lines and they have monologues. And they say it exactly the same every single time. How do they do that? Ron, maybe it isn't exactly the same. It pretty much is. That's the talent. And that's when I have to stand back and say, you're amazing. I don't know, you have somehow cultured your brain. To be an actor or whatever is one thing, but to memorize lines on stage, that's something else. Again, movies, television, whatever. Stage plays, you got to be good. You got to be good. Musicals, double. Not only do you have to remember the dialogue, you have to remember the words to these pathetic songs that pretty much always sound the same. I can't do musicals anymore unless the songs are so popular that it's like somehow interesting. But these plays with some of these lyrics and songwriters, it's just like, oh my God, ew, there's no tune to this. What are you doing? And in a typical musical, there's like 25 songs. Oh, that's like way too many. That's way too many songs. I don't care how good the songs are. It's way too many songs. When you do so many, they can't all be good. It's like everything in life. If there's a couple of things going on and they're all good, okay, fine. But as soon as you start adding like 10 items, 20 items, now we're in a comparison thing. Did you like the play? I liked the first half. Second half wasn't as good. I like the second half. First half wasn't as good. Because now we've got 2 things to compare. Stay away from comparisons. It's a death trap. I mean, if you like the songs, there were probably only 3 or 4 songs and they were all good. When you get into 20 songs, some of them are going to be horrible and awful. Did you ever go to a concert? Did you? I asked you a question. Did you ever go to a concert and it's your favorite band and they're playing the songs that you grew up with or that you love right now and you want to hear them performed? You want to hear those songs performed in concert exactly the way you know them. Exactly. Do not put in an extra note. Don't fluctuate your voice in the wrong place. I want to hear it exactly as it is. That's what we want, right? We even listened for the drum beats and the percussion, the special parts. They've got to be there perfectly. The lead guitar licks, they have to be there perfectly as we know them. But here's the problem, and every band does this. Now we're going to play some new songs that are on our new album, and here we go. Nobody knows these songs. The album was just released. They don't know. And if they were just released, they weren't out there long enough for us to become familiar with them. And they like now for like half an hour, they're playing songs that you're going, oh God, play the stuff I know, will ya? That's what I spent the money for. Please play something that I know. And here's some new songs that you don't know, that you've never heard before. If you want to go to the bathroom, this is a perfect time because It's going to be about a half an hour before we play the songs that you came here to hear in the first place. I went to a local cocktail lounge. It actually wasn't so local. It wasn't in this town. It was further away. And I had lunch. And as I said on previous shows, I'll sit at the bar. I won't have any alcohol, but I'll sit at the bar because I don't want to sit alone at a table because that's like pathetic. Everybody goes, oh, he's got no one to sit with. That was by choice, by the way. So I'm sitting at the bar, and I hear a couple of bar stools away. This person talk. I don't know if I did this last week or not. I can't remember. I don't think I did. A couple of bar stools away, there's this lady, and she's speaking to the bartender, who is another lady. And she's saying, how long has this restaurant been here? And the bartender, this is what she does, and I couldn't believe it. The bartender looks at her wrist where her watch is, and she says, about 10 years. What did you just do? What? Does your clock have years on it or something? Why did you look at your wrist for? What? It looks so stupid. It immediately struck me as being one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. How old are you? Let's see. I'd say 32. I'm 32. See? How do you? What are you doing? Why are you looking at your watch? Even more pathetic than that is somebody who does look at their wrist, but is not wearing a watch. How much longer until closing time? Well, I don't have a watch, but 2 hours. What were you looking at? The knobs on your wrist? I mean, what the hell? People do some strange things. I find it fascinating. I just find it fascinating. That's why I'm here. Just to find things as fascinating as they actually are. Because in the long run, I use this theme all the time on the radio and on my show. We are the human race, and we don't have it down right at all. We have evolved, and now we're devolving. We went about as far as evolving can go. Now we're going back to our original roots of placebos floating somewhere in a body of water. If that's where we came from, I don't know. Let's not get into religion. But we are going now backwards. But we forget about a few things about the human race. And the first is, human beings are animals. We are. No, Ron, there's animals and there's human beings. We evolved from those animals. Again, scientifically. We are like an animal. We, if pushed comes to shove, and I don't know what that means, we are survivalists. We will do whatever it takes to survive and to provide for our loved ones and our families. That's our job. Whether it be male, whose job they think it is exclusively, or it be female, who also has that trait, we need to survive, and we'll do anything to do it. It's like the old story, there's a plane crash, and there are like two people surviving on an island, and there's nothing to eat. And eventually they look at each other and go, the only way they're going to survive is to eat you. And they do. That's the extreme example. But, right? We eat other animals. Why? Not just because they're tasty. We needed that for food. We're animals. That's the way we do things. The other trait of humanity, which I am not proud of, but it does exist really across the board, is not to look at the ramifications of what we do, but simply to make things better right now. Screw it as far as the future is concerned. We've done that from the very beginning. We've done it from the beginning. We actually enjoy seeing people fight. Some of our sports are based on fighting. We enjoy that. We enjoy violence. It's part of what we are. We consider it entertainment in the movies. People being shot in the movies. In every movie, someone's getting shot. Or someone's in a really bad way. We enjoy that's entertainment to us. That's the human being? I don't think so. Not in theory, but in actuality, yes, it is. That's the human condition. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. The planet will not survive forever. I mean, yeah, actually, the planet will survive, but humanity will not. Living things will not. The human race will not. Every day, it's the warmest day on record. Every day. Even in the winter, in February, warmest February on record when they started even writing this stuff down. Warmest February ever. I'm getting sick of the warmest ever all the time, every day. It's a clue. It's a big clue. Cyclical? Hasn't been anything like this before in the cyclical world. We do things for convenience now, not paying attention to what the ramifications will be in the near future for our children and our grandchildren. I don't care. I won't be here. They will. We're leaving them in a great problem area here. We do that with the planet. Yeah, things are going to be tough. Water will become not so plentiful drinking-wise. Food will be difficult. The population of this globe increases incredibly every single year. Not less people, more people. How do you feed them all? You can't. It's a problem. But, right now, it's a big problem. We can't do anything about it, but your ramifications are incredible. AI, artificial intelligence, makes life easier for us right now, huh? Gives us a lot more opportunities and a lot more fun and a lot more information. You know where that's going to head. You know the ramifications of it. We all know the ramifications of it, but we're blind to it now. It's like that in every category. So humanity? We never got that right. Never did. A lot of people tried to make it right. Didn't work. Because that's not the way we're made. We're not channeled to be wonderful. Well, Ron, that's not true. I go to church and I give to other people and I take care of other people and I offer my services and my time and I volunteer and all that stuff. Good. There's not enough of you. Because the vast majority doesn't come close to what you do. And you know that. So, whoa, that was like a downer. I started the show talking about toilet water and peeing in your pants if you're a NASCAR driver, and then I end up discussing the dregs of actual humanity and how the resolves are out of hand, and we don't think about the ramifications of anything that we do, because everything's for our enjoyment and pleasure, and right now. It's a tough world. But enjoy. I'll be back next week. I wanted to talk about a new concept that Wendy's is going to introduce in 2025, which is about 3/4 of a year away. They're going to change their pricing based on just how busy it is. And that's an AI-driven situation that works on the split second, like Uber. If it's busy, you're going to pay more. If it's not so busy, you can get some bargains at off hours. This is to make business better for them. Prices could go down, as well as they could go up. But at the time you want to have lunch at a fast food place, they're probably going to go up. But not so much if you better have lunch at 8 o'clock in the morning is what I'm saying. All right. That's it for me. Next time. Bye.